Good morning and welcome to Barbara's Bulletin. I'm your host, Barbara Waters. As we begin a new day, our focus turns to the complexities of the global economy and the need for better balance sheets. In a world where traditional economic statistics are no longer sufficient to measure growth and productivity, leaders are calling for a new framework that can accurately account for the intricacies of modern trade. According to a recent article in Foreign Affairs, the current system of national accounts, established during World War II by economists such as John Maynard Keynes, is no longer equipped to handle the nuances of global commerce. With the rise of specialized components and digital infrastructure, traditional measures like GDP are struggling to keep pace. The article highlights the importance of factoring in intangible infrastructure, including cloud services, communications networks, and data verification systems, which play a crucial role in facilitating economic growth. It's a complex issue, but one that is essential for policymakers to grasp in order to make informed decisions about economic policy. As we navigate these uncertain times, it's clear that a new approach is needed, one that takes into account the interconnectedness of the global economy and provides a more comprehensive picture of economic progress. We'll be exploring this topic further on today's show, with expert analysis and insights from leading economists. For now, let's take a moment to consider the significance of this issue and its potential impact on our daily lives. From the way we conduct business to the services we rely on, the need for better balance sheets is an issue that affects us all. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're continuing our coverage of the latest news and developments from around the world. In this segment, we're shining a spotlight on a significant story that has sparked concern among journalists and advocates for press freedom. The Trump administration's recent decision to fire nearly 600 employees at Voice of America, a federally funded news network, has sent shockwaves through the media community. The layoffs targeted contractors, including journalists and administrative staff, and account for more than a third of the organization's workforce. To understand the implications of this move, let's take a closer look at the context. Voice of America was founded in 1942 with the mission of providing independent reporting to countries with limited press freedoms. The network has been a vital source of news and information for people around the world, particularly in regions where censorship and propaganda are prevalent. The Trump administration's actions have been met with criticism from media outlets and advocacy groups, who argue that the move undermines the principles of press freedom and independent journalism. The president has previously accused Voice of America of spreading anti-American and partisan propaganda, claims that have been disputed by journalists and experts. We've spoken to sources within the organization, who describe the firings as inexplicable and heartbreaking. Many of the journalists affected are from countries with repressive governments, where independent reporting is often persecuted. These individuals now face uncertainty about their immigration status and may be forced to leave the United States by the end of June. The Trump administration has defended its decision, citing the need to right-size the agency and reduce bureaucracy. However, critics argue that this move is part of a broader effort to dismantle Voice of America and undermine its mission. As we continue to follow this story, it's essential to consider the potential consequences for press freedom and the dissemination of accurate information around the world. We'll be keeping a close eye on developments and bringing you updates as more information becomes available. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, I'd like to take a moment to discuss some of the latest news stories that have caught my attention. Firstly, let's talk about the recent comments made by Reform UK Deputy Leader Richard Tice, who suggested that the UK could learn from Dubai's national pride and low crime levels. Tice argued that the UK should aspire to the kind of safety seen in the Emirati capital, where people reportedly leave belongings unattended without worrying about them being stolen. While it's interesting to hear Theis's perspective on this matter, it's also important to acknowledge the complexities and nuances of Dubai's societal structure. As an absolute monarchy with a hereditary royal family, Dubai's system of government is quite different from the UK's. Additionally, human rights organizations such as Amnesty International have raised concerns about the treatment of political prisoners in the UAE. It's also worth noting that Theis's comments come at a time when his partner, journalist Isabel Oakeshott, has been writing about her own experiences living in Dubai. She has praised the city as a multicultural success story with a booming economy and a culture of respect. However, others might argue that the UAE's strict laws and limited civil liberties are not necessarily something to be emulated. Meanwhile, in other news, US President Joe Biden has been making headlines with his recent comments on the situation in Syria. The president stated that the U.S. will continue to support its allies in the region, while also working towards a diplomatic solution to the ongoing conflict. In another part of the world, the UK's Foreign Office has issued a statement expressing concern over the recent developments in Sudan. The situation remains volatile, with reports of violence and unrest continuing to emerge from the region. Finally, I'd like to touch on the story of Austin Theis, an American journalist who has been missing in Syria since 2012. His family continues to advocate for his release, and there have been recent reports of efforts to secure his freedom. Our thoughts are with Austin's loved ones as they navigate this difficult situation. That's all for today's Barbarous Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.